Choosing whether or not to have children is one of the most personal and private decisions any couple can make. But in a new documentary called To Kid or Not to Kid, 40-something filmmaker Maxine turns the camera on herself as she poses this question and even asks her mum how she would feel if she didn't have a baby.
This is interesting, but it's like, it's almost like adjusting to a grief, you know, because in one tiny sense it's another loss, because I think, right, I won't have any more grandchildren now, and that you wouldn't have, like I have children to turn to when I'm in a crisis. That upsets me a bit, to think of you like sort of on your own.
It's a huge pressure to make my mum happy. But what decision will make me happy?
It's a really powerful documentary, actually, and it does beg the question, is it ever okay to put pressure on your children into having grandchildren? I mean, I guess there really is a thing, the grandbaby blues, as it has now been coined. I mean, there are lots of people out there that are just desperate to sort of have grandchildren in their life, but is it right to put pressure on children to make that happen, Kaye?
Oh, God, that was a lovely little piece, wasn't it? The honesty between them was really touching. And the thing is, it came from a place of love with both of them. They both wanted to sort of the best for each other. It's natural, isn't it? It's really natural. But you've got to try and sit in it, I guess, haven't you? I mean, like, my eldest daughter is going to leave to go to university in a few months' time. I'm not kidding you. I want to tie her to the radiator. I want to, as she goes, I want to be sort of around her ankle, going, don't leave me. But I can't. You know, and so you've got to sit on it. But I feel for that lady. I really, really do. But you've got to try and sit on it. It's hard, really hard.
And it's whether you feel you can open up the conversation to your children as a potential grandparent, you know, and it depends on the relationship within the family, I guess, but it can be a very personal conversation and question to ask, isn't it? Obviously, couples could be struggling and they don't want to share that information with the family. I mean, there's so many different sort of variable viewpoints, and you kind of have to tread carefully so you don't want to upset anybody, but you have to be careful what you say. You can throw in, oh, you know, oh, you've bought a new house, look at all these rooms, you have to fill it with babies, and, you know, these sort of things that you naturally say, but you don't quite know the effect it can have.
It's just not our right. We have children and they come through us, not to us. They're not our property. But I too found that very moving, that piece there, because I hadn't thought of it in that way, that the sadness you might feel that your child isn't going to have children. Like I can see how much joy my parents get from me and my sisters looking after them and spoiling them and all of that. And I hadn't really thought about that. I hadn't thought about what if my children don't have that when they're older. And I mean, say we're down the line and all you guys have got grandchildren and I haven't. I mean, I'm going to feel really jealous and annoyed with Kaye and with Jane and, and you guys are too young. But I'm going to feel envy and I'm going to feel all those things. But I hope I can control myself never to say it to my children, because I don't want to put anything on them. It's their life.
You know, it is, and I think sometimes, for me personally, I never ever felt my mum, you know, when she was alive, put pressure on me to have children. She always just spoke about, you know, being stable and having somebody and so on. But I think sometimes we put pressure on ourselves. I always would speak to myself and would be worried that I wouldn't have children in time for my mum to see, because she had me at a later age. So I felt like I always subconsciously had that thing of, oh, I hope I settle down, I hope I have
You
children.
felt the pressure without us saying
Yeah, and that's not something that she pushed towards me. It was just like, I was quite clear that my mum was sick.
You wanted her to see
and
them,
she was older, but I just wanted her. And I do remember when I was pregnant with my son, definitely, I was like, Mum, I've got a boy, it's okay, you know, I've got the two of them, you can go. So that was just my personal pressure.
It does
thought of it
exist,
that
doesn't
way,
it? I know, there are lots of different views on that. Don't go